Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Woe Factor Cast, where we put the woe in woman. Hello, my name is Holly Hartman, and I'll be your host today. I'm the CMO and co-founder of the Woe Network. And today we're creating the Woe Factor effect. Women are transforming the business world, and this woman is no different than that. I am so grateful to have Betsy Rose Durham on. She is the founder of iSit Pets and a multi-passionate as well. But today we're going to talk about her amazing pet sitting business and how it's expanded and what she's up to. So Betsy, introduce yourself to the group.
Hi, everybody. I'm Betsy Rose. Yes, I do have two first names. Gosh, I don't even know what to say, except thank you for having me on this podcast. I'm very excited. I am the owner of iSit Pets. It is a luxury pet sitting service where we go to the homes of our clients and watch their pets. Essentially, I'm a cat and a dog nanny, and I absolutely love it.
I love that. There's a need for that. I am currently not a pet owner, but when I was a pet owner, I would have wished that I knew somebody like you in my life because I'm a busy professional. I'm on the go. And so this is really needed for so many of us. And I know for me, I'm a mother and I'm very protective of my child. And I know that a lot of people are really protective of their pets. So we'll unpack that a little bit more about how they can trust what you do in your services. But I'd love to unpack a little bit more. How did you even get started with this? Like, what's your passion about this? And tell a little bit about your story.
So the way that iSit Pets began was it's actually really beautiful. I would have never thought, if you would have asked me after college, which was several years ago at this point, or even like 2 or 3 years ago, what are you going to be when you grow up? I would not have said I'm going to own a pet sitting business. And not because I wasn't passionate about it. It was just something that began as my side gig. And I would do it for a little extra cash while I was teaching yoga or teaching Reiki, doing all these different metaphysical offerings. That was pre the Great Pause.
Mhm.
And so it just evolved. And then after the Great Pause ended, after COVID, there was this beautiful combination of I was already established. I had a few clients that had given me great reviews because I put my heart and soul into caring for animals, because how do you not? And so after the Great Pause ended, there was this beautiful combination of everybody wanted to travel. And everybody either got their very first or an additional pet and needed that extra support of having someone come to their home and essentially just care 24/7 for their pets while they were traveling. And I was happy to do that. So that's how it began.
Oh, I love that. So, yeah, I like that you called it the great pause. I like that energy is much better than, and that really was. We all paused and we had to pivot. And it sounds like you were able to pivot and also serve your community. And that's what I love is when we can do the things that we love to do and that we're passionate about. And then how do we make a business and also meet the needs of our community? And you do that so beautifully. So maybe share with us a little bit more about how your business has expanded since then, because I know that you have a lot of working parts, and maybe let us know what that looks like. What does a pet nanny or a pet sitter do?
Absolutely. So a pet sitter, so just like you would think of a babysitter, like you said, very protective of your child, people are very protective and of their pets. So pet sitter, we come to the home just like a babysitter would, and we watch your pets while you're away. Now, the difference is that why I say nanny is because I am often doing overnights. Like a client will go on a vacation for a week at a time, or a business trip for the weekend, or like part of the week over the weekend, like a convention or something. And I will go to their home, pack my suitcase, and I am there for the duration of the client's trip, hanging out with their pet. Now, of course, I do leave during the day to go run errands, go to the grocery store, have dinner with my family in the evening. But then I return, and I also ensure that the pet stays on their routine. So if it's a dog, we'll go for walks. They get their breakfast, they get their dinner and their treats in between. Because I'm running a business, I do have office hours.
Mhm.
So I set my computer up and I hang out with the pet. I always say pets are my best coworkers.
Love that.
And then in terms of the expansion of iSit Pets, so pre the Great Pause, it was really just me. I had one other like pet sitter that I would outsource to, but they were their own. They had their own independent setup. And so now I have a team of 4 pet sitters plus myself, and we go all over the city, and we show up and take care of pets for long periods of time. But we also offer like drop-in visits or just dog walks. We might stop over during the day if a parent gets caught up working overtime or something like that. Mhm.
No, I love that. I think that's great. Yes, I was hosting an event, and a gentleman that was there, a professional gentleman, he was like, "I'm sorry, I have to leave." And this was shortly after I had actually met you. And I was like, "Ooh, I've got somebody for you," because his sitter, his pet sitter, and he had been gone all day,
Mhm.
let him know that she wasn't going to be available and wasn't reliable. And so I said, "I
Right.
have the person for you. I want to set you up with Betsy Rose because I know that you're reliable and that you show up. And now that you have a team, that even expands that availability even more to be able to offer that." I noticed that recently. Could you share a little bit more about like the emergency drop off type of experience?
Emergency is in.
So like
Um,
if meaning they're running behind, they didn't
oh yeah.
realize. I think you kind of posted something the other day, not necessarily emergency, but
Oh yeah.
you can stop in to visit your pet if things come
Yeah,
up.
absolutely. So something that I would say sets us apart is from other pet sitting services, if you will,
Mhm.
is that we're happy to work with those clients that get caught up and just need like, I thought I would have time to run home and take care of the dogs between getting off work and going to dinner, or going to this networking event. And so we're happy if it's a client we've worked with before. We're very happy to stop in last minute, and I'm not gonna charge like an extra fee or anything like that. We want to take care of our clients because our clients take care of us. And it's essentially one of my values is freedom. And I
Mhm.
want that to extend to not just myself and being able to be a pet sitter and set my own schedule and my team do the same, but especially to the pet parents and also the pets. Like pets feel free when they're in their own home, when they're their most comfortable. Clients can feel free, truly traveling, and being fully relaxed, or being able to have someone to rely on to say, "Hey, can you run home and like just take my dog for their afternoon walk? I thought I was going to get off earlier, but I actually need to stay late at work." So, absolutely happy to work with our clients in that way. And I love being able to offer that.
Yeah, I love just as a business owner and a business coach that you talked about your core values there, that you shared about freedom. That's one of my top core values. So you pinged me there. I'm like, that's probably why you and I connect really well, is because so many of us, when you talk to busy professionals, what they're really looking for generally is financial freedom and lifestyle freedom.
Mhm.
And you're offering that lifestyle freedom where yes, you can own a pet and you can also do your work and you can also trust the people that are there. And one thing you were sharing about your services is doing overnights. It's not only just trusting somebody with your pets, it's also
Right.
trusting somebody with your home,
Hmm.
and that's a whole nother ball game as well. So I love that you're also considering your clients, that what their needs might be and how you all can do that. Are there other ways that your personal values or your business values show up that maybe we could talk about?
Oh, absolutely. So innovation is one. And right now, I'll just give a little snippet of this. We're working on setting up subscription plans for dog walking and those drop-in visits
Nice.
so that clients, because I have clients that I go to their home every single day, and I want to be able to offer them like just like I feel like our whole world is kind of pivoting to that. And I'm like, why can't a service-based business do that as well? So we're going to be rolling that out relatively soon.
Awesome.
Um, I mean, goodness, there's definitely ways that my other core values show up. But freedom is really like my guiding one. So it's
Mhm.
the one I come back to over and over again. But like safety and security,
Mhm.
trust and honesty, and then also that familial, like family, because as a pet sitter, you truly do become family. Even if a client just comes back like once a year for their yearly vacation, I have clients that come back over and over and over, and it continues to just like warm my heart.
Mhm.
And then we're also communicating with them on a daily basis. We're giving updates, little videos and pictures of exactly how their pet's day has been going with us so that they can truly say, "Oh, Diesel's doing great. He got his nap, he went out and had his walk and playtime, and now we're just gonna chill on the beach and not worry about him." So
I love that. Yes, because when people are far away and they're trusting you, maybe even for the first time, knowing that there's those touch points. And I love what you
Mhm.
said about family and trust, and I can see how all those values show up in your business in the way that you're creating it. And that's the beautiful thing about being a founder is that you get to create what makes sense for you and your clients. And I love those pivots that you're able to make. So thank you for giving us a little glimpse of some futuristic things that are coming because I that sounds very valuable to a pet owner. Maybe let's unpack somebody that has a pet and has never used the service before, but
Mm,
they're on the fence on whether or not it's worth the investment or
absolutely.
whether how they get involved with getting connection, that kind of thing.
Absolutely. So I would say for those first time, folks who have their pets, maybe have used a different service or a friend or a family prior, like, maybe it's time because maybe they got an additional pet. Um, Maybe their kids have grown up and gone to college and are no longer available, to watch their pets when they're out of town. And so coming to a service like iSit Pets, especially iSit Pets, you're going to get that sense again of family. We're going to show up, we're going to communicate with you over and over again. Um, and again, your pet is going to be relaxed, so therefore you can be relaxed. We do combine, as you've already stated, pet sitting and home care. If you need your plants watered, there's one client who right now they're opening their pool. So their pool guy comes like once a week, and I'm like cleaning out her skimmers. She's like, I don't want the helicopters. They keep clogging it up. So can you go out there and like we're happy to do those little extra chores that you would normally do if you were present and there. And like we're happy to take over those small responsibilities, nothing huge. We're not going to mow your lawn while you're away. And just have that line of communication with somebody who is present and taking care of the things that you love and hold dearly. So yeah, hopefully that explains it.
Absolutely. I think that's great. And it really highlights that you are really trying to provide a beautiful service that is you mentioned the word luxury at the beginning when it's more of a concierge service in a way that you
Right.
offer to really cater to what their needs are. And so many services today really lack that customer service element. So it sounds like you really implemented some beautiful things with customer service, the touch points of communication, the opportunities to fill the gaps where they might need those, where you can provide that service because you're already there. Where so many people are rigid and say, no, it has to be this way. But when we do that, we also have to take care of the people that are doing those things for us. So I just love that you all have that versatility and flexibility and the innovation to be able to show up for your clients in that way.
Awesome. Yeah,
Um,
thank you.
Trying to think. So with the business professional. So this is one thing like me trying to hire even a house cleaner. Sometimes I have this guilt that
Mm,
comes up of, oh, to either invest the money or I should be able to do this on my own. Why
right.
can't, the shame storm that might show up for that. And also the most influential and successful people in the world outsource the things that either they're not good at or don't have the time for. So maybe maybe speak to that professional that could be holding back just because, not because they don't trust you, but because maybe that shame that holds them back from investing either in themselves, or that they don't have the time to take care of their pet in that way. There might be some shame wrapped up.
Oh yeah. Phew, all you've touched on so many points that I'm like all the things that I've been working through in my personal. I just moved and I needed help getting things organized. And I did. I even felt guilty for like, I should be able to do this. But I did go ahead and hire help just for like one day to help me get organized. And the thing that influences me and that I would share, there's actually a book. I know I'm going to have another opportunity to share a book. But Gay Hendricks' Zone of Genius,
Mm.
and it just really helps you see when you can live your life in doing the things that is your zone of genius, that is the place where you thrive and feel that you can offer and do the best. And you outsource the other things that you maybe don't love doing, like taxes. Accounting. I'm not an accountant, and I'm as a business owner, I have to I have to outsource those things because if not, I'm just going to be so stressed out. And hiring the help that you need, like a pet sitting business like iSit Pets, to be able to give you the peace of mind. That essentially is what the investment is about. I know it's about your pets and making sure that they get the love. Like that's a given that that's going to happen. But for you, or the person that's doing the investment of getting whatever service it is,
Mhm.
outsourcing, you're basically relieving yourself from that guilt, that stress. And even though there might be some shame wrapped up, because especially as women, we feel like we got to do it all. Like we got to feed the kids, we have to clean the house, we have to do the 9 to 5, bring home the bacon, fry it up in the pan. I know that was a quote from another fantastic woman. I cannot say that I came up with that, but it really struck home with me in that it's okay to not be able to do it all. And there's days where we just can't. So going ahead and having, those that family to back you up. And I view my pet sitting team, I recently hired a booking manager. And oh my goodness, the mental space that I have available now to put back into doing things that I love is
Mhm.
so great. Okay, so I think that that's all I'm going to touch on there. I did want to add one thing, maybe to the previous question, is that
Absolutely.
we do offer free meet and greets. So you don't, even though we want to know that you have a specific, trip coming up if you're wanting to book with us with iSet Pets. But we offer in that booking process a free meet and greet for both us and for especially the pet parents and the pets to decide if it's a good fit. So I don't know. Hopefully that can alleviate some of the angst.
Absolutely. I think, yeah, there's so many different facets to what that looks like for people. And it could be an internal thing, could be an external. And I love how you unpacked that for people, that whether it's this service or any service that we're hiring in,
Mhm.
to do that, especially as women. we,
Yes.
we compound that. I can go back to when I had my pet. The struggle that I had was, I had a black lab that had lots of energy and anxiety, and so how that impacted our family, and it really made a big impact. I was not able to train the dog. Are there services that you all provide as far as that goes, or connections that you can give to pet owners if maybe they're in that experience?
Absolutely. I'm actually really excited to talk about this.
Oh, yes.
So, very recently, like in the last couple of months, we partnered with Dog Training Camp USA. And they're located in Shepherdsville, but they do have a lot of clients who bring their pets from Louisville. What we're doing is partnering with them to learn some very basic, all natural, body language based
Mm,
training to both possibly, once me and my team get really trained with them and their methodology, could go into homes and offer like very initial training. You would need to go to Dog Training Camp USA to get the full
yeah.
package. But we want to be their go-to walkers here in Louisville. So essentially, we want to refer clients there, but also when they have clients that graduate their training program, then we will also help them continue by when we take their dogs on walks, we'll know those cues that they've already learned and we'll continue that work. So I'm very excited. This is giving both me a way to expand in my skill set and my team, but also it's so funny. The owner, Corey, the co-owner of Dog Training Camp USA, I knew her way, way back before either of us were in petpreneur, what we call it, petpreneur businesses. So it's very cool to, and I knew her through like another business networking, and we were like, I was a yoga teacher. She was doing like these home parties, something really cool, but I can't remember quite. And like now we're both in this pet business in separate areas, but we have ways to link up and share our services and skills. And I'm just so very excited about it.
Oh, that's awesome. Yes, at the WOW Network, we really talk a lot about collaboration and how we can elevate, because when you do that, you combine resources and you combine the people that you're working with. So you can bring your people there. She can send people to you.
Right.
And that's amazing. So you don't have to learn it all and be it all. You have those opportunities and reinforcing each other's business in a lot of ways. So I love that you're also impacting other women business owners in this way in our area. So bravo to both of you all for that collaboration.
Thank you.
Because it does help us scale, and then it helps the collective. It helps everybody involved, your clients, the businesses, relief and freedom, more freedom. If our pets are trained properly, that also brings a lot more freedom. I know firsthand what that looks like.
Yes, it does.
Yeah. So I know that for me, I had a puppy and I struggled with training. So that I ended up rehoming her to a better home, because I also had a child I was potty training at the same time. So puppy training and potty training, not the best combination for a single mom. That's just, I had to tap out. And I loved my dog, but she's in a good home now. But for the aging dogs, some people have aging dogs that are more geriatric and require medicine and care in that way. Do you all offer services that help with those as well?
We absolutely do. Yeah, we actually call it elder pet care. And I would say that a little over 50% of our clients have those aging dogs who might wear a belly band, which essentially is just a puppy diaper. It's adorable. Or like you said, need medications. They're usually like a multi-pet home. So they might not be the only pet, but they're usually one of a few, and they're the ones that might need the most care, specialty care. But everybody, gets the same level of love and cuddles and snuggles and playtime. And yeah, it just fills my heart to be able to take care of those community members because our pets they're a big part of our individual community, but also like being able to go out. We've taken dogs to dog parks and things like that to just keep them, like I said, in their routine, especially for elder pets and younger pets that you're training. Like it all goes together for sure.
I love the versatility that your business has and your opportunity to pivot and really cater to the needs of your clients. So we'll finish up the interview where I love to ask people, you've touched on a lot of really good business things for us too, that we could apply whether we have pets or not. You've talked about collaboration. You've talked, what was the first book that you mentioned?
It was Gay Hendricks' Zone of Genius.
Oh, yes, Zone of Genius. I love that. Because when we're in our passion and we're doing the things that we love, that's what the world needs. And so then there's other people that do the thing. I'm like, people really like to clean? Like, that's the thing you love to do? Oh, please, I need to hire you to do that because that's the thing you love.
I need to add, yes, cleaning. So I don't like cleaning my own space, but I love cleaning other people's space. And like this is when I started and was like, and I trained my team to do this. But the way that we make sure our clients come back to us is that we're going to clean up after ourselves. We are professionals. So like if we come into your home and we're going to make it hopefully look even a little better. So when you come home from your vacation, you're not having to clean up after somebody else. That's my little like secret in secret sauce, I guess, for pet sitting is that one of my clients said, he was like, I love and I know that you're there every day. Like I know you are. My cats are happy when I come home. They're not mad at me, just rare, or used to be rare. He said, but I also love that when I come home, it doesn't look or feel like you have been here. It doesn't look like you've been here, but I can feel that you've been here. So
Ooh, what a beautiful compliment.
yeah.
Wow, it's like your energy's felt, but not like the trail behind you, which is
Yeah.
like that's like superb right there. I love that.
So,
Yeah, are
right.
there any other maybe client successes that you'd like to highlight or experiences?
Oh, for sure. Yeah. So, oh my goodness. I'm gonna refrain from pulling my phone out and being like, look at the pets that I watch all the time that I love.
Like your pet
Yeah,
Rolodex of pictures?
yes, and I would have it too. People can go to my socials for that though. So yes, so right now I have a family who since actually this winter, they've been they have a home that they bought in a different state, and I've been going to take care of their cats every day, sometimes twice a day when their daughter is at the home, but she travels a lot as well. So I'm going every day to make sure that these elder cats get their medicine and that they get their playtime and that they get brushed because they're long-haired cats. So I've been and she told me yesterday, the owner did, she goes, he's gonna be 10, and when I started, he was 8. So I've been with him for 2 years, and that just made my heart so happy.
They
And I
are
told
your babies. They are your family.
yes, they really are, and I told her, I was like, "I will quietly sing happy birthday to him while he judges me," 'cause he's a cat.
Yes, pet owners, you need Betsy Rose in your life to love on your pets when you're away, so you know that you're getting taken care of. That's beautiful. You can feel your spirit and your love and what you put in, not just business, but in literally the clients, and not even just the people clients, the animal clients. Those are your family, and that's your chosen family, right? That's the things we get to shift and change, is choose who we want to put in our support network. And it sounds like you would be a valuable asset, you and your business, for any pet owner that is truly a busy professional, that uh,
Mm,
go take that vacation. Like, go
right.
take that vacation. Go do it. Hire Betsy Rose and go take that vacation, because you deserve it too.
Absolutely, yeah. Rest is like a big part of being able to be productive. I feel like in our society, we're so focused on that. Um, but actually, rest can allow you to come back and, just be even in a better flow state. So, yes,
Well, that's when we get in
vacation.
our zone of genius, right? When we
Yes.
when we get to rest, and then we're in that creative place, and that's where we change and shift our lives in so many ways. Um,
Yes.
so maybe some other books or things
Yeah.
that have inspired you lately that maybe the listener might enjoy.
Absolutely. So I have a few. So I'm going to go back to, Gay Hendricks, The Zone of Genius, but he also wrote a book called The Great Leap. And I think that one's first. And it talks about one quote that has stuck with me is that, um, let me hold on, I don't want to butcher the quote. Excitement? No, fear is excitement without the breath.
Mm.
So, and right now, I'm a little bit of an astrologist. Right now, we're in this ending this Aries season, which is all about facing your fears and having courage. And courage isn't like doing something in the absence of fear. No, it's having fear, but doing the thing anyways.
Mm.
And so for me, becoming a business owner, because I went from like a corporate 9 to 5 and was like, I want to be able to pick my own schedule. I want to be able to hang out with pets on a daily basis. And then another book that helped me along that journey is The Alchemist
Mm.
by Pueblo Coelho. And it is really about how it leans a little more into the spirituality of things, but it can, apply, anybody can read it. And I almost feel like it's a lost fable, or it could be a book out of the Bible, like a fable out of the Bible. It is so beautifully written. And it's about how sometimes we might be in places, like for me, I was in that corporate 9 to 5, and I mean, I did it, but I didn't love it. But as I continued my journey and am now here as a business owner, I don't look back on that time with like disgust or like, oh, I can't believe I did that. I look back on that as like, I needed to go through that in order to learn what I wanted to contrast and what freedom was not for me, so that I could learn and create what freedom is for me, for both me and then like my community as well. So The Alchemist is a book that I really read that just struck me as like, I get to create the life that I want, even if I'm in a place where it might not feel like, "Ugh, this is," because I learned something in those places as well. So that's how The Alchemist influenced me.
Ooh, I love that. I haven't read that book before, but I love that. And I've been leaning into the contrast too. Abraham Hicks talks about the contrast and allowing you to be in that and seeing it differently. So I'll definitely check that out. Did you have another one that came up for you?
No, it was just, well, I mean, I'm reading another one right now. I'm
You're
always
reading.
like,
I'm a reading junkie. Yeah, I get
yes,
it.
I love talking about books. We could do a whole podcast
Yes, yes.
going back and forth on different books. So as a business owner, I mentioned earlier, like obviously outsource your taxes, but also the CPA and bookkeeping work.
Mhm.
But they do state it is really good to learn all of these things first. And I actually have a business mentor who has kind of driven that point home with me when it comes. He's like, you want to learn how to do these things first yourself. So the person you're hiring, though they might already have the skills, you know that they're doing it the way that you want or the way that you learned, or you can like collaborate together to like learn together exactly how you want things done. So the book Profit First by Mike Michalowicz,
Mhm.
and he writes a whole great series of books for business owners. But that was recommended to me by a different business mentor of mine, and I've been moving through it slowly. And I just found this company. It's all about setting up your finances as a business owner, which is one of those things that for me, I just resisted for a really long
Mhm. I
time.
understand.
But and he, especially says business owners, humans in general, we're just living paycheck to paycheck. He's like, and even though businesses, we, put on our big puffy chest and we're like, oh, we're doing great. And I am, but it's the behind the scenes stuff and that can get a little muddled. And I think that there is in our culture this like shame and lack of education around finances in general, for an individual, for a family, for a business, doesn't matter what. And Profit First it's essentially the envelope system, which I know Dave Ramsey came up with, and I've also gone through some of his stuff. Um, but yeah, Profit First is one that I'm reading now that I cannot recommend enough to all business owners. It just makes sense. How to organize your business finances just makes so much sense.
I love that. Yes, in June we're actually going to do a financial health workshop and focus for the Woe Factor or the Woe Network, because it's not something that's always talked about, and it's the thing that probably they say 80% of businesses fail in their first year, and a lot of it is due to not having this. They're doing their passion, which is amazing,
Right.
but we're missing some of these other really important factors that we need, especially as solopreneurs and entrepreneurs, to make that happen. So thank you for noting on that, and that might be a book club that we do during the month of June, because I think I've heard that book a few times. So when I see something coming up multiple times, I know that that's my indicator that Holly, you should be looking in that direction too. So thank you for that. You helped me today, so I appreciate you. So as we wrap this up, if you came on, you were thinking, oh, there were some certain things I wanted to make sure I shared, this is your opportunity. And then also let the especially the pet owners know, how can they find you? And then also, if you see people posting online and they're like, hey, do you know somebody? Tag Betsy Rose Durham in that post and she will get them connected. So let us know a little bit about how they find you.
Absolutely. So the ways you can find me, especially is my website, is going to be the easiest. It's just i-sitpets.com. So That's super easy. I'm sure you can also just Google I-sit pets and will pop up.
Mhm.
And of course, I'm on Instagram, Facebook, all those things. So that information will be in the show notes, I believe. Yeah,
Mhm.
definitely.
Yes. Yes.
And so I think we touched on everything. I am really excited to be, well, I guess there's one other thing in terms of innovation is I've been consulting with, so it's really cool to be a pet sitter and be valued by somebody over in California because I've been consulting with them on creating an app for my clients, but also for me as a business, for clients to very easily book pet sitting services. The apps that are out there right now are just a little too complicated and not as user friendly. Um, they're still fulfilling a much needed need, but simplicity and ease are another a few of my values. I have a lot of values.
Yes. Me too.
But my top 10, kind of steer in ease. Ease in terms of use. Like again, my business is all about like how can we make people feel free? The best way to do that is to remove stress. So we'll be making the booking process even easier within my company. But yeah, it's like so exciting to have all of these things going on at once, Like as a business owner, I have never grown more in my life than I have in like the past 3 to 4 years growing this business. So, it's really, really exciting.
Yeah, it's a beautiful gift as long as you want to go with the flow, right? You want to ride the wave and you learn as you go. And I think like you said, it's really important for us to know those things. We don't have to be proficient, but we have to know how to do it. And it's okay to hire out too. But I'm a human design manifester, and one of my profiles, and this is a little bit more woo than most people might want to go, but is knowledge. I have to gain the knowledge first, and then
Mhm.
the three of me is the trial and error. And so that sounds some similar to what you're talking about. So
Mhm. Yeah, absolutely. I was actually hoping we would go a little more woo-woo because so I'm just gonna take it there.
sure.
Like, I 100% when I began this business and began, I should say in a more professional sense, like I said, when I went from being a hobbyist pet sitter and that being my side gig to this growing into my full-time business, as I stated in the beginning, I would have never told you, like, when I grow up, I'm gonna be a pet sitter, a professional pet sitter, and own a pet sitting business and have a team. But the universe was like, this is what we're doing. And you can jump in this river with us and, flow with it, or you can resist it and you're going to feel like you're drowning because this is what you're doing. Like the pet sitting requests just continue to come in.
Mm.
And, I always thought, I'll just be a yoga teacher forever. And I do love teaching yoga. I still do it like regularly, but it was again, The Alchemist, reading that book and learning like that the universe is always conspiring in your favor. It's a big quote from that book that I like have in my heart. And so when you learn to work with and communicate with that universal energy, it makes a huge difference. I hope it's okay that I went real woo woo, but like
I opened the door, so it's all right.
and I just say that, in akin to what is that? Like it's not tangible, but it's also our inner knowing, our intuition. And I've been honing that skill like ever since I got Reiki certified. That's just been on fire. And I've learned to integrate it and use it to help me with my business. And I told my bookie manager, he's a dude. I don't know what his spiritual background is, but I told him I was like, sometimes you're gonna see me pause, and I'm just gonna you might even like kind of hear me talking to myself, and it's because I'm trying to see it. What is the ping internally? Do we go this route or do we go this route? And
Mhm.
I mean, in a nutshell, that's how I communicate with the universe.
Yeah.
So
I'm very much the same. I call it downloads for me, and I figure out what my true north is. And that's why I asked you about your values. For me, a lot of it is tapping into my values, my personal values. So, which one of these things, directions lead up with my values or not? And those are my guide and my compass as well. So, I love that you're very grounded in what your values are, because when we do that, we also attract more people that's their values too, inadvertently. And those are the people that we want to work with generally. And it doesn't mean that your values have to be exactly, but complementary. Otherwise, there's a lot of friction that happens. And that's where that that flow gets interrupted, and that's where we go against the current. But it's tapping into your intuition and trusting it and going, no, this is, because if you look at the general population of business, and I think this is where the WOW network is a little bit different, is yes, we value professional women and what we're doing, but we also value that there are alternative ways beyond even corporate to do things. And that's what we're really seeing within our community, is a lot of innovative women doing business different. Like I said, women are transforming the business world, and we're doing it by our inner intuition, by utilizing these tools, by leaning into what our zone of genius is and what our passions are, and outsourcing the things that is not our thing, and releasing the shame that we don't have to do it all. But when we have a network of women, a community of doing it together and lifting us all up. Oh, now I feel like I'm preaching. I got like,
keep going.
That's what we're about. Right. And so I'm really glad that our conversation even came to this spot, because I think that's what's really important, is it doesn't matter what our business is or what our, what umbrella we're under. It's these undercurrent things that we do that we line up with our values. So when we can surround ourselves around those people, we can elevate each other together, just like your collaboration with the camp in Shepherdsville. You know, when we can get out of our own ego and think that we have to do it all and open up to expanding, we will attract.
Yes.
That's to attract all the right people. We don't have to force it. So thank you for this conversation. I really appreciate it. Any final thoughts before we hop off for today?
Just one testament to what you just said is all. 100% everything you just said. Love it. And I do my best to connect with other business owners, other petpreneurs as well. Thankfully, during the Great Pause, it really got everybody online. And so I do attend. I'm a member of Pet Sitters International. That's who me and my team are trained through. But then also it allows us to connect with other petpreneurs, other pet sitting businesses in other cities and states. And so through that, you hear stories. And so I've heard a few horror stories, and pet sitters, we want to share the things that go wrong as well as the things that go right, but we can learn from all of those aspects, from both ends, I could say. And so I've heard some horror stories of pet sitters that took on clients that they knew weren't in alignment with their values and their business, and it ended poorly, whatever reason or whatever way. And it's just because they worked with clients who wanted one service and it wasn't what they offered, essentially. So just they weren't aligned in their values. And because I started my business and doing this work from my values, that's how I began. That's the first exercise I did. That's the first part of my business plan. It's my core values. When it came my turn, what have you learned? I mean, I've had mistakes for sure. But essentially, that one testament is that I've never had clients who were nasty or we didn't figure out, we weren't able to communicate what it was that they were expecting or needed. And I don't know, I've just felt really lucky in that way of being able to connect with people in networking as well as clients who are always in alignment. And so I just feel really fortunate in that sense.
Yeah, when we know our core values, we show up differently, and then we attract differently. Even if the people that we're attracting don't know their values, we can sense it. But we have to know what that is first. That's one of the foundational things I do in my coaching and consulting is, what are your values? And if you don't know them, we're going to do that first, just like you said, because that's our guide. That's our true north. That's what will anchor you and attract the ideal client that you don't have those issues that come back. And so it really does set that foundation and that energetic, what you're bringing in when you're formatted in that sense. So, well, I really appreciate the conversation today. I'm so grateful that you were on. So for all the listeners, thank you that you were here. We really appreciate it. Feel free to look in the show notes, give us comments, let us know what you liked, connect with Betsy online, because she wants to help your pets and she's the one to do it. So until then, keep unlocking your potential with the WOW factor, and we'll be back soon. Bye, everybody.
Bye.